Hi folks, welcome to Layman. Today I'm going to continue where I left off with the coronavirus, COVID-19. We're coming up to the 5th of March, which is stage 3. Okay, that's what I class as the halfway point. The halfway point I calculated at about the 5th of March, 3,200 people will pass away or die. And but I mean that's bad news for those people, but then it's also good news that the ratios are coming down tremendously. They're coming down quickly. If China would have reacted like this earlier, none of this would have happened. This would have never been a problem at all. But they allowed the ratio to rise very quickly, without any control. And we're looking at millions of people that will be dying. And then next thing you know, you started seeing them take action, and then the ratio dropped to 1.59. Eventually, through February, it dropped down to 1.43, and now it's bottoming out at about 1.32, which is perfectly fine, very safe levels for China. That's safe levels for China, but it's not safe levels for other people, because everybody else, like Italy, Iran, and South Korea, and Japan, they are now have the infection in their zones, and they have to take control of this. Now, why is this so important? Why does this bother me? Okay, a few things bother me. Okay, what Donald Trump said bothered me. Okay, what the governments are saying bothers me. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because number one, here's a conspiracy that's been bothering me. Did China allow the virus to go rampant in the beginning so that they could lock down Hong Kong and parts of China? You know, that these people want their independence, and this is one way of getting them in their homes, off the streets, close everything down. China can handle this, you know. That's one thing. Then you have our government, President Trump coming out. It's not his fault, because he's only being led by his people. His people tell him, they write it up, they get it from Google, and oh look, thousands of people die. And that's what he comes out and he tells everybody. He says, thousands of people die of the flu every year. That's absolutely true. Thousands of people, thousands of Americans will die of the flu because of their immune system, because of their age, because of their health, because of the things that they do that is very unhealthy. The vulnerable will die of the flu. But that's what the flu shot is there for. That vaccination is there to help Americans fight through that flu. There is no COVID-19 flu vaccination, okay? That's the problem. This flu has no tap on it. It has no a cap to keep it from spreading and doing its damage. There's nothing to hold it back. There's no reins to pull it back. So that means it's going to affect everybody, and there's no shot for it to help people. So it's kind of, I don't want America to become complacent, okay? Because in England, because I'm in England right now, you may not know this, but I'm in England. But in England, we have a national health system, okay? It doesn't cost us billions of dollars it doesn't cost us tens of thousands of dollars to go to see a doctor. You know what I mean? If we all of a sudden lay on the floor and we collapse, we got a free ambulance that come and pick us up and take us to the hospital. You see, I respect the national health system. I wish more British people respected the national health system, not take advantage of it. Okay, but that's another story. Okay, in America, there are thousands of people that die because they are afraid to go to the doctor. They're afraid to go and get themselves checked out. They could easily carry this virus and flu on the buses, on the transportation, on the train system, and the flights, everywhere. And it could spread rampantly. Boom. So you can't become complacent about this. You have to take it serious. It's not the death, how many people are dying. It's how it's spreading. It's the problem. That's very important for you to understand. Okay. I drew up a little map here that shows you 225. That 1 to 9 ratio is the number of people that carry it and never know they're sick. They can carry it for 3 to 5 days without ever getting sick, and they can pass it on to other people. 1 out of 9 people are carriers of this virus. Real pain in the butt this thing is. 225 people. We have an infected ratio, and that's why I've always said 3 deaths, 150 infected. If you have 3 deaths and 150 infected in your country, you got yourself a problem. You need to start taking numbers, ratios, and start calculate this. Keep it in control, because 1.41, anything above that ratio, in the beginning it's 1 to 2 days, then it's 2 to 3 days. Around the 15th term, it's 3 to 4 days, and then on the 3rd stage, 21st term, you're looking at every 5 days. Anyway, you take 225 people if you have infected, 5 will die, 25 will recover, and 195 will stay infected. 3 days later, you put them back into the, and more will come in. You got 225 again, 5 will die, 25 will recover, 195 will stay infected, and the cycle continues until the cycle either everyone dies or everyone recovers. Now this is important to understand the recovery age. That's just a ratio, it's probabilities. Okay, Mike from, what is it, MSNBC or MNBC or CNBC, you got to understand, you don't use algebra because you use probabilities. You have to use statistics, and not algebra. If your age at 55 years of old, if you're 55 years of age or over, your chances go down to 145. 1 in 45 chances of recovering. That's not good. 1 in 45 chance to recover. If you're under 55, 30 to 55, 4 and 9. 4 people will recover out of 9. That means there's a 50% chance, or even better, of you recovering. So that's a good sign. You see? So that's what this is not exact 25 over 225. Things change. Infection, how it spreads is important. There's already a person in California that's infected with this virus, and you're asked, she's never, or he, I don't know what it is, who it is, they've never come in contact with anybody with the coronavirus, and they've never been to China. So how did they get this virus? How did it spread? It could have spread through purchasing something from China. Somebody had it, sent something to her or him, they opened up the package and the virus was still alive. It was still, whatever. I don't know. I can't say. I honestly can't say. I do know these facts. In Italy, it went from 323 to 458 people infected to 650 people infected. 17 already have died. The ratio from 17 to 12 is just like 458 to 650 is 1.41. That ratio is happening every 1 to 2 days. That's in stage 1. So Italy's in stage 1. Iran is in stage 1 as well, with a ratio of infection at 1.76, climbing each time. So that's a problem for Iran. South Korea has the largest, other than China, has the largest amount of infection rate going, 1,766, but the death rate is only 13. So that means these people are running around spreading this infection at a high rate, and the only thing I can think of is young people, congregations, churches. I'm beginning to think that it's the grouping of large people, and they're young and they must be healthy, because otherwise the death rate would be a hell of a lot higher. But it's not. Japan has been dealing with this since early February. And their rate, they've been doing a really good job. The rate is 207 and 4. That means 207 infected, 4 deaths. That means they're staying right around this ratio, which is basically a ratio that's actually, it works, okay? So what does this mean? Does this mean that everybody's going to be infected? No. It means you might be healthy and say, oh yeah, I'm fine. You're carrying it. You 1 in 9. You might be carrying the coronavirus, COVID-19, without even knowing. Go and rob. Give your grandmama a hug. Give your grandmother a hug. Next thing you know, you pass it on to her. She can't survive. You see, it's the infection rate. You need to check to make sure that you're not infected with it. And closing down airports might be a good idea from certain countries to keep it from spreading into other countries unchecked. Okay, so this is very important. Now, like I said, we're at stage 3 of the coronavirus. This is supposed to be ending. The coronavirus is supposed to be ending in 35 days, and instead, it's managed to spread all around the world. So now, some countries need to get this in control of this as quickly as possible. And this is why the market is starting to get affected. This is how it's affecting the market. Because now, technology, electronic components, you put all your eggs in one basket in China. You didn't spread it around to other countries. You put it all in China. China closes down. They shut everything that control the coronavirus from spreading. Boom, close everything down. People are not manufacturing. People can't get their jobs done. People are going to lose money. Money that they need that equipment to build whatever they're building and then get their product out there to sell, to make money, and it's not happening. Everything's getting closed down. So the technological stock market is going to start crashing. And that's going to be an exponential curve, not algebra, not using, X squares. You know what I mean? It's just normal exponential growth, K over X. K is the constant, X over X is the, that growth rate, and then it's going to start dropping. Okay? And it's going to bottom out. You're probably going to lose another 2,000 points. So if I was the federal government, I would hold up trying to buy your way and helping the stock market. I wouldn't even waste my time with doing that. Not until the end of March, the start of April. Eventually, when it starts bouncing around, it will climb if we take it serious. If we take it serious, we control this virus, we help each other to get control of it, then it will start rising with e to 1 over 4x minus base. Okay, so wherever we are at the base, you're probably going to lose another 2,000 points. Then it's going to, over the period of 35 days, then it's going to start growing, e to the 1 over 4x, yeah, minus base. And we should be all right in probably another 30 days. So everything is going to be perfectly fine, and then it's going to, obviously, it's going to, work out. So I think I've covered pretty much everything. I've covered the age. I've covered the problem what we're going to have with the stock market. We're going to lose points. The S&P and the Dow is going to have trouble. Right now, you're going to have trouble for the next 35 days. So, and I've spoke about Italy, Iran, South Korea, and Japan. So I think I've covered everything. Obviously, if you want any help, you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me. I'll do the best I can. But it's not to worry, okay? Because people who've been here in England, a lot of people here in England are saying, oh, we're not worried. You can't be complacent, especially you nurses, care workers, and doctors, and people who work with elderly people. You get the COVID-19, you took a trip to China, Thailand, or some other country like this. You come over here and work in a care working house, and you start touching your grandmoms and grandpops, and you're going to have the entire house empty. You know what I'm saying? So you people need to not become complacent. Be careful. Just don't let it spread. So as long as it's not spreading 3 and 150, you got nothing to worry about. Leave it at that. You guys take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Let's try and help each other out in this world. We need to. You guys take care. All right. See you later.